This is task 3A part 2, where you're asked to show evidence of the field names, data types and the primary keys used for each table. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each table one at a time. We'll start with the equipment table and we're going to have a look at it in design view. So if we click on home, we can go to design view and we can see the data types. Now you might look at this and think, oh well, that's all right, they're all set as text and they all do contain text. If we have a look, you can see they all contain text, so we'll just leave it as it is. However, each of the text fields is set for a length of 255. When it comes to creating forms and reports using wizards, that's going to create very big fields on those forms and reports, so we do need to cut this down a bit. So I'd suggest that 50 for the description would be sufficient. Now the longest value for the standard is either silver or bronze, which is 6 characters. So for standard we'll go for 6, and for category the longest value is accessibility, which is 13 characters long. And if we go back to view, you will get this message: do you want to save the table? And then some data may be lost. Well, all that we're losing are spaces at the end of the fields. If you have a look, we've actually still got all the data we started with, but we just haven't got those extra spaces. So that's the equipment table. Then let's have a look at the installation table. Again, the data type of type, we can cut that down, that's text. So we'll have a look at that. So here it is, let's have a look. We've got number for the ID, date and time for install date, that's all correct. The type though, so the longest value would be upgraded, which is 8 characters long. And then chargeable, we want this to be a yes or no field. So I'm going to change that to yes or no. It's worth just pointing out at this point that in the real coursework there's an error in one of the data files. The file name just says pass or fail, so the field name is called pass or fail, and then it's got yes or no underneath it. Well, you can't have pass or fail with yes or no. So you've either got to change it from pass or fail, leave it as pass or fail, and then change all the yeses to pass and all the no's to fail, or you need to change the field name to pass, and then you've got yeses and no's. Obviously an error by OCR there. Anyway, let's go back to datasheet view. Again, we should lose some data, but it's only spaces that we've lost. And notice how we've now got the tick boxes because we set that as a yes/no field. Finally, we've got the camper van. Now, so if we have a look, we've got text here, we've got dates here, we've got the original value there, and we've got the photograph. So let's work our way through. The registration, the maximum number of characters in that, including the space, was 7. In fact, actually, we didn't have any spaces. The photograph field, now you'll notice you can't actually change that to an attachment. See, it says you can't do that. So what we have to do is delete the photograph field completely and then put it back in again and change it to an attachment. Now, you may have noticed in the last video when we were importing the data, I said you could have deleted the field at that point and not imported it, and that would have been fine, and then you just create the photograph as an attachment field here. Right, if we go back, disposal date at the moment is set to text, but we know that's a date, so we'll change that to date and time. And the original value is set to text, but it really should be currency, so we'll change that to currency. Let's have a look at what we've now got. It's saying some data is going to be lost, but we're not actually going to lose anything apart from those gaps at the end of registration. We've now still got the dates, the values coming up as currency, and we've got the option to add attachments of photographs as well. So what you need to do is you need to do this screenshot. Okay, so it's going to be everything in here. So you're showing that the primary key is indicated by a primary key field, and actually say that. Say that the key symbol represents a primary key, and you do that for each of the 3 tables. That screenshot there for each table, and that's the end of 3A part 2.